Hi, this is Janice from ScrappyCutsOnline.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make the cars for the Easter Express train. This train could easily be converted into a baby express train, perfect for a baby shower or a baptismal, a baby arrival. It could also be converted into a Santa train or a birthday train. Just use your imagination. I will also be making files in the future for a zoo, animals, or even more holiday theme for Santa or even Thanksgiving. This is the only scoring that is needed for the train, and it's just the bottom of the cart. So here I am scoring for one of the bottoms of the cart. One of the first things that I do is start with the wheels because I like to add some stickles or I like to add some liquid pearls to give the wheels some dimension, and this allows them to dry while I work on the other portions of the cart. This particular wheel I'm using a layered approach again. I usually use a layered approach, but I wanted the pattern paper to kind of resemble Easter eggs on this train since it's going to be an Easter themed train. As you can see, I use a real thin striped cardstock to act as the background of this wheel, and there's the spokes of the wheels and with an egg-shaped die cut in the inside. So when you attach the spoke to the wheel, it will resemble an Easter egg with the stripes coming through. And then I wanted to give the eggs a little bit more dimension, so I added some stickles to each egg to give them a 3D appearance and a little bit of sparkle. I then added liquid pearls to make rivets on the wheels. These wheels match the wheels of the Easter train that in the previous video. Both the stickles and the liquid pearls are a product from Ranger. I just love Ranger products. Now it's time to start assembling the carts. This particular cart happens to be the chick cart. So you start out with the bottom piece that you scored and the pieces that have the silhouette of the chick or the rabbit or the lamb, whichever one you're starting out with. Here I'm deciding whether I want the pattern piece to be the outside of the cart or the solid color to be the outside of the cart. It looks like I decided on the flower part to be on the outside of the cart, but on the silhouette of the chick I wanted it to be the pattern piece. So the easiest way I have found to add the bottom part of the cart to the top part of the cart is by just using my ATG gun and going around the edges of the sides of the cart or the car. This technique may look very familiar if you've watched my video on how to make the baby buggy. It's okay to use the adhesive from the ATG gun at this point because those pieces are going to be glued together eventually, and you're just really needing the ATG gun just to stabilize the pieces together so you have a chance to work on them. So you just take the bottom of the card and you wrap it around the side all the way around until it forms the cart. Then repeat on the other side. Now it's time to start assembling the decorated sides of the cart. This is going to be the bottom of the decorated cart. You can see that it has some little holes cut out on the side, and there's also a hole in the middle so you can line up the cart properly. This is going to be the cart for the chick. And one of the things I did was I pre-stuck my pieces for the cart using my Xyron machine, so it was just like adding stickers to this. And so I added my bottom part, and there's the stripes again um, that will match the Easter egg portion of the wheels. Now I want to assemble the decorated part of the cart to the foundation of the side of the cart that has the wheels on them. I want the decorated paper to be on the inside of the cart so the wheels will have a nice finished look in the inside. So that's why I am turning them upside down. I want to use glue because this really needs to stick well and have strong adhesive. I like this quick drying glue. It's by Scotch, and I use this frequently in all of my projects. And so then adding it, aligning up those holes, and my hair is in the way, sorry. So lifting it up, making sure that they are on straight. And one thing about using the glue, it does give you a little time to tweak your paper. And then repeating it on the other side. Now adding the decorated portion of the card with the wheel foundation onto the card itself. Again, I'm using glue because I want to make sure that this sticks really well. And again, this glue is quick drying, and so I get to be impatient sometimes and really want it to hurry up and dry. And then flipping it over and adding it to the side of the cart. So you can see in here, there's really not any matching up. You just kind of have to guess and try to make the one side of the cart equal distance from the edges as you make the other side of the cart. So this is the only really place you have to kind of guess at where to put something. And then I turn it upside down and I use my fingers to give it some good pressure so it'll stick well. Because I really want those edges to go all the way to the end of that cart. And then again, repeat yourself from the other side. And to really take shape, and I think it's going to be really cute. And now it's time to put the chick together. So here are the pieces, the wings and the heads and the beak. Whenever I have a die cut that requires a lot of detail work, for instance the faces, I like to make a stencil. So each one of my face die cuts has a stencil that matches it. So this one will tell you where you're going to put the eyes. I use paint pens by Sakura, and this is one of my favorite pens, so many of my videos also have this pen used. So I just start out by drawing out where the eye goes on both sides. Then once the black dries on the eyes, I go around with my white pen and I just add some bottom portion of the white part of the eye, and I add a little highlight on each eye. You can see this now. It's not quite finished yet, so the white portion becomes a little bit too thick, and then the eyeball portion loses its shape. So after I get the white portion in, I let it dry, and then I go back into the eye, and then we'll go back in with my black pen again to add more shape to the eye. I don't add eyelashes because I'm really not really good at doing eyelashes. I have not ever had any training on doing toe painting, so it's something that I kind of go away from, is drawing eyelashes. But you can always add eyelashes. Oh, one thing I wanted to point out was that there's a right side and a wrong side for each of the faces in this project. If you notice the top knot, one is higher on the left side, and then on the other one, the top knot is higher on the right side. So make sure that you look at this before you decide to start coloring in the faces. The chick some shadow and some highlighting, and so I used chalk. And again, I have never had any training on how to really do this, so I'm kind of winging it on my own. So, and if you haven't either, you will be able to do it also. It's really isn't that hard. So I add a little bit more darker yellow and then give it a little chin and some more cheek definition to show where the eye is more indented in the face than, say, where the nose would be or the cheek, the beak would be. And give that little top knot a little bit of shade also. And then do the same thing with the wings. So the wings look more defined and the feathers look a little bit more separated. And giving it shadow. And then once the wings and the heads are all shaded in, add a little bit of pink for the cheeks to give them a little rosy appeal. Isn't he coming cute? I like him, if I have to say so myself. Rub it in, rub that chalk in. So, oh, he is so, so cute. And then go in and shade the beak a little bit and take my white pen and give it just a little bit of highlight on one side to give, so it'll have an appearance of being more shiny. And then again, taking my black pen again and rounding off those eyeballs so they look more like eyeballs. Doing eyes is really not that hard, and I'm sure you would be able to do it too. And so now it's time to start putting the pieces of the chick together. Each one of my pieces I used the Xyron machine to make it into a sticker, so it's pretty easy to assemble. And I placed the beak just a tad bit underneath the eye, covering up the real slight portion of the bottom part of the eye. And I did not put a place to align it up, so it's kind of freehand. But I think you will be able to do it. Isn't he cute? He looks so cute. And so then I start adding the pieces of the chick to the cart. And I just added the wings. That was the first thing to go. And then you add the head, now making sure that those little top knots are going in the correct direction. And that's pretty much adding. That's the chick. There's one thing else that needs to be done, is that's putting a little rose or a little bow underneath his beak, or underneath his head. And then of course you're going to have to add the wheels. So again, repeat yourself on the other side. This is putting together the rabbit, and he has a little snozzle, and he has different little feet than the chick does, and of course the rabbit has ears. And so the first thing you do is to go and draw in the eyes with your black pen by using the silhouette. And here are the pieces to the lamb, and there really is no science to this. I decided I wanted to add the cheeks first, so that's the first thing I added to the lamb, giving the cheeks a little rosy appeal. Then decided to go ahead and give the rabbit his little rosy cheeks also. At this point, I do have cutouts for the inner ear, but I wanted to see what it would look like if I just chalked the inner ear, and truthfully, I like it better than having a cutout of the inner ear, so that's what I did with the rabbit in this particular cart. And also for the lamb, I decided just to chalk in the inner ear. Whenever I'm trying to give shadow and highlights to pieces that are white, I like to use blue, or I like a gray slate color, and so that's what I'm using on all of the pieces that are white in this project. All of the little paws are all highlighted and shadowed in using a light blue. And then I added some orange chalk to give shade to the lamb's ears and the lamb's face. And then adding the eyes to the lamb using the same stencil I used for the rabbit and for the chick. In this particular stencil, there really is no right way or wrong way because the eyes are symmetrical. So the top knot doesn't matter on the stencil. So coloring in those eyes, all black. And since the rabbit's eyes are already dry, I can go ahead and add the white bottoms to it and the highlight the eyes. Doing it the same way that I did the chick's eyes. It's just a way that I think makes the eyes look really cute. So the rabbit's ready to be put on the cart. So the first thing I start out with is the ears, lining them up so the edges are the same on both ears. And then doing the face and then making sure those top knots are facing the same direction as the silhouette on your cart. And then the next thing to do is add the little snozzle to the rabbit, and again just centering it on his face and just a little bit below his eyes. There, isn't he looking cute? And then next comes his little feet, one on each side, and I have one little toe a little bit bigger than the other, so I try to make the bigger toe in the center of the rabbit. And then I wanted to add his little nose, so I use again a pen by Sakura. This pen is the souffle pen. The black is from the glaze pen, and I prefer the souffle for the nose because it's not quite so pink. The glaze was really pink, really, really pink. So I preferred this one myself. And again, because those eyes are dry, I can go in and round off the bottom parts of those eyeballs again. At this point, you could also add little whisker marks on the rabbit. I didn't do it on this one, but I think it needs it. You could use the same pen that you used for the nose to do that. And then again, repeat it on the other side. And then it's time to start putting the lamb together. There is a left and right ear. The top part of the lamb's ear is a little bit more concave than the bottom part. And then again, repeat yourself with the right ear. You can hear my obnoxious cockatoo in the background, I'm sure. And you saw his appearance in the first video about the train. So once both ears are attached, then you attach the face. You don't have to worry about the top notch on this one because it will be covered up by the lamb's fur on top of his head. Then after you attach the face to the lamb, you're going to add his little woolly top. There is a left and a right side of the little woolly top, so make sure you match those edges. And then add both of its little feet so that they're matching. Again, I have the bigger toe towards the center of the die cut. Then take your white pen and give the eyes a little bit of white underneath it and some highlight. And with that Sakura Souffle pen, I gave the lamb a little heart kind of shaped nose and just a little line for his mouth. I didn't really center it for the mouth because I think sometimes it gives a little bit more character. And then the last thing you would do again is once those eyes are dry is go back in with your black pen to give the eyes a little bit more shape. And now it's time to add the wheels. Now remember that I used my Xyron machine to make these into stickers. I found that it's great when you're just layering it, but when you're attaching it to the cart, it really does need glue. So I put my brad in, my matching brad that matched the engine, and then I would add glue to attach this because it doesn't stay very well if you just depend upon the Xyron. And so you would do that to all four sides and then to all three buggies. And then by using the pre-cut holes in the die cuts as a guide, I attached some decorative liquid pearls to each of the holes to give it some more decoration. And I used the same color that I used to match the rivets on the wheels. And then the last thing I did was I used my hot glue gun to attach satin roses just below the chins of each of the animals on both sides. I used my hot glue gun because I think it holds the fabric better and it dries a whole lot quicker than if you're using liquid glue. Well, that's it. I hope you have had a great time watching my videos. And again, I thank you so much for all the great comments that you give me and send to me on my email. Be sure to visit my site at www.scrappycutsonline.com and make sure that you watch the video on how to make the engine. Thanks, and have a happy Easter and happy spring. Bye.